So Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing earlier on today announced a team that are going to be presenting Matchroom Boxing shows on Dazn. But has the game changed? Let's talk about it. Before we do, my name is Rahul Jaychand. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So look, this has been a topic of conversation for the last, 2 to 4 weeks or so, ever since Eddie Hearn announced that he's moving Matchroom Boxing from Sky Sports to Dazn. One of the core reasons he said he decided to make the jump is it allows him to control the production of his own events. With that, obviously, he had to assemble his own team, and these are the Avengers that he's chosen. You've got Maya Jama and Laura Woods as presenters stroke hosts. You've got Mike Castillo as the lead play-by-play commentator, along with Andy Lee as the lead colour commentator. You've got Chris Lloyd and Darren Barker, who will be doing the undercards in terms of commentary and amongst other things. And you've got Tony Bellew as an analyst. So what do I make of the team so far? Let's go through them individually. So you got the biggest surprise for me is Maya Jama, because Maya Jama is a mainstream TV presenter. She seems to be all over the place at the moment. I've been following her on social media for years, and I've seen her go from presenting on the radio on Rinse FM, which is a London internet radio station, used to be a pirate radio station back in the day, to now where she's on primetime TV in the UK. A lot of people have been voicing concern, I've seen on social media, about Maya Jama. She seems to get a lot of hate, I've seen recently on social media, from what seems like middle-aged men for the work she does on the, I don't know what it's called now, the Peter Crouch programme, after football matches on BBC One. But I don't really have an issue with it at the moment. People are talking about, oh, she hasn't got a boxing background, and you know, what is the point in hiring her? What value is she going to add? But for me personally, it kind of feels like a bit of a smart move. Like I say, she seems to be the hottest presenter on UK TV at the moment. She has a massive social media following on both Twitter and Instagram, which is active on both platforms. And I don't think that they're stupid enough to put her in a position that will expose her lack of boxing knowledge. She's a presenter at the end of the day. I've seen her on, I think it was Copper 90 or something like that. This is years ago, where she interviewed, she kind of followed around Pato. Remember the footballer, the Brazilian footballer Pato? She kind of followed him around before a World Cup. I can't remember which one it was now. And she did a good job. She did a good job just asking questions. And these were questions that she was just asking off her own volition. It wasn't something that was kind of fed to her, and she didn't have a card in front of her to ask us questions. And by the way, whenever I say Pato in my head, I think to myself, Pato, Pato, Pato. Because when me and my brother used to play Pro Evolution Soccer back in the day, every time the commentator said Pato, we would both say Pato, Pato, Pato. I don't even know why, but we used to. And I'm still the number one seed in the family, you fucking prick, raw hits. All right, so I feel like it's a smart move if they use her correctly, right? Just because of her reach and the fact that she's very engaged with her audience on social media. So it's like a double whammy that they get in there, a good presenter along with someone that can help promote their shows on social media. Laura Woods, she is an accomplished, I think she's an actual journalist, because I've seen her on Sky Sports. I've seen her present different shows, and she also does a talk sports show, and I've seen her express her own views and opinions about football. I believe she's an Arsenal fan, which gives her extra brownie points from my point of view. But I feel like she will do the job that Anna Woodhouse, however you say her name, does on Sky Sports, I think personally, because she will do the work required to understand what's the right way of saying this? Understand the magnitude of each of the fights that she's talking about. Do you know what I mean? She'll understand the permutations of who wins, who loses, background of fighters, etc., etc. And she'll keep the conversation flowing with the analysts that she's working with. I believe, anyway. This is how I think it's all going to work. Mike Costello, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, I've heard of him, I've seen interviews that he's done with Boxing Social and stuff like that in the past. I can't really remember hearing much of his commentary. I know he does a lot of commentary on the radio, and I've never once in my life listened to a boxing match on the radio. But he's been getting a lot of positive reaction on social media, so I'm just gonna wait to form an opinion until I've seen him actually work. The one name that I'm excited about the most is Andy Lee, because every time I hear Andy Lee speak, like, I watch a lot of boxing interviews, right, on YouTube, on Boxing Social and IFL TV, etc., etc. And Andy Lee's one guy that, while I'm listening to him talk, I don't zone out. I pay attention, and he holds my attention because I like the way he thinks and he forms sentences in his head before he spits them out. I feel like he's a very intelligent man, and when I've seen him actually work as an analyst on events of late. And I don't know, I just feel like he's just a guy that calls it straight down the middle. And I feel like he is a perfect person for this position. So I'm excited to see him work during fight camp in the next couple of weeks. Then obviously Tony Bellew. I think this is the guy that's kind of received the most negative feedback from the announcement. When I made my a video that I made a couple of weeks ago, when they formally announced the move to Dazn, I talked about who they'd have as the presentation team, and I said I hope it's not a case of just jobs for the boys. And look, Tony Bellew's a guy, right, that, how shall I say this without being rude? Like, I've got nothing but respect for Tony Bellew as for what he's done in the ring and what he's accomplished throughout his career. I feel like I often see, and this might just be on Twitter, and this might just be him expressing opinions about other things that have nothing to do with boxing, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that I see him say is just stuff that other people have said. He just regurgitates what other people have said. Now, I've seen enough of him on Sky Sports in terms of being an analyst between fights, giving his opinion, where I've never sat there and thought, oh, shut up, Tony Bellew. Do you know what I mean? What I suppose I'm trying to say is he does a job, he's got a personality, he's like Marmite, either you love him or hate him. Well, I suppose in this case it's not, because I don't hate him and I can't say I really love him. Do you know what I mean? But again, he's someone that seems to get a lot of traction on social media. So while people are watching these events, I suppose, you know, they say, what's it called? Not bad publicity is good publicity, but do you know what I mean? No publicity is bad publicity. If you're getting a lot of people tweeting about, oh, shut up, Tony, and whatever, maybe that helps. I don't know, but I feel like I can't say I'm disappointed by Tony Bellew. I'm not, because I do, you know, I will sit there and watch him talk for an hour with Kugan Cassius, and I find it entertaining. I just don't know how much of a deep thinker he is and how good he'll be in this role. But again, I will reserve the right to make a judgment until I see a few events and see how it all works, etc. Chris Lloyd is a guy that I'm a big fan of, and it's not just because I've interacted with him a couple of times on Twitter. I like the way he commentates. I like the way he presents a post-fight shows on YouTube, on the Matchroom boxing channel. He's clearly a guy that knows his stuff, and he's up and coming, he's young. He's fresh, but not fresh, because he's fresh in terms of what he's done in his career, but he's been part of the Matchroom fold for a while. He's done stuff with Dazn for a while, so it's not like it's a brand new kind of role for him. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't surprised. Let's put it this way. I wasn't surprised that Chris Lloyd and Darren Barker are part of the team. Darren Barker, again, is another guy that I like listening to. I've got nothing against him, but I'm not blown away as such. But he's still, again, he's quite a young analyst, because he's been retired for, 4 or 5 years or something like that. I can't remember now when he retired, but the point is, it's not like he's a 15-year vet. So in a way, it is kind of like a fresh face, even though he's been about on Matchroom boxing shows and Dazn for the last couple of years. The thing that I'm interested in the most, and not a lot of people are paying this attention, well, there's 2 things really. 3 things. I'm just going to make 3 quick points. firstly, who is the person that is going to jump in the ring and interview the fighters after the fight? That's very important for me, because you don't want to. I personally don't think that should be something that Maya Jama does, because you need to you need to have an understanding of the pulse of what's just happened, right? You need to have a feel for the pulse of the fight, to ask the right questions. And what you don't want is someone that doesn't have a deep understanding of boxing to go in there and say, oh, how do you feel after that win? When it might have been a controversial win. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want someone that is going to ask the questions that we as fans want the answers to straight after the fight. And I feel like that's something that Chris Lloyd will do really well, similar to what Andy Clark does for Sky Sports, or did for Sky Sports when they had Matchroom Boxing. But that's one thing that I feel like needs a lot of care and attention, and I feel like the right person is to get into the ring after each fight and ask questions, the right questions. The second thing is the actual, how will these shows be produced? Now, look, we've heard so much about, oh yeah, you know, from Eddie Hearn, the production's got to be big and it's got to be right and it needs to look how I want it to look, etc., etc. It's all well and good naming these names, but you got to use them in the correct way, similar to what I've just said about who's going to get into the ring after the fight to ask the questions. How is all of this going to fit together? How is Maya Jama and Laura Woods going to work together? Like, because with Sky Sports, the way they've done it, they've had one presenter, Woolhouse, who does it, and she does kind of both roles as the anchor on the desk with the analysts and the presenter as such, right? So how is it going to work with them two in tandem? That's one thing that I'm interested in seeing. So the actual one thing that I've hated about Dazn, watching boxing events on Dazn up until this point, is how crap the production's been. Cameras not, you know, the director going to a camera and he's looking in the wrong direction. Just during events, like, it feels like they're using the wrong angle during a fight. They should be using a better camera angle. It always feels like it's lagging and slow and just not right there, capturing things as and when they should from the best angle. So that's important. And I suppose the last thing I'm interested in seeing is, like, are these aren't the same people that are going to be presenting the Matchroom shows in America, I don't think, because it's very British, it's very English heavy, right? So you'd assume there's going to be a lot of shows in Mexico, there's going to be a lot of shows in the States over the next couple of years, and across other countries, right? So I felt like there'd be more of an international feel to this team, because if Eddie Hearn is trying to do this UFC model, and the UFC take the same team to each event on a weekly basis, well, not when I say the same team, there's the same, like, I don't know, 7 to 10 people that commentate and present each of the events, whether they're in Europe or South America or North America or Asia, right? So this just seems very British heavy. I felt like there'd be more of an international feel to it. So I don't know whether this is just dedicated to the British shows. I don't know. But that's what I was expecting, a more international feel. So that's one thing I wish someone asks Eddie Hearn, because I can't. But I want to know. I want to know what's going on with the Matchroom shows in America, and whether this is just for the British audiences. But yeah, I suppose let's finish off with this. Has the game changed? Not really. For me, not really. Nothing's really changed. It's been altered a little bit. But it hasn't completely changed. But time will tell. You got to give these guys time to make mistakes and learn from the mistakes, you'd hope. And then in a couple of months, after we've had a few shows, we've had all the fight. And also, you got to remember, Fight Camp is a very different environment to a normal arena show, right? So Fight Camp is going to go off over the next few weeks and whatnot, and then I think the next show is probably going to be in Headingley, maybe Josh Warrington or whatever. But you have to give it time and see what they do in different environments, because, like I say, Fight Camp is a very different show. The look and feel is very different to a normal arena show. So give it time, man. I'm going to give it time. I'm going to give it maybe 4 months, 6 months, see how they get on, see how they progress, see how they evolve. And then I'll tell you guys whether I think the game has changed or not. But right now, I think it's just been slightly altered. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like it, share it, subscribe to it, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, all of that good stuff. I've muddled all of that up, but you guys know exactly what I mean. Put your comments below. Let me know what you think about my opinions. Share your own opinions. Don't be rude. Don't swear. It's now nearly 12 o'clock, man. I wanted to record this earlier, but then I started watching the Croatia-Spain game, and that was a good game. And then the France-Switzerland game started. I thought to myself, I'm going to watch like the first half. Ended up watching all of it, extra time and penalties. And I haven't even got around to watching Love Island yet. So it's going to be a busy night for me. But I will catch you guys later.